Hey guys,
Hey.
today we've got a guest with us here, Ivanina, a very close friend of ours, and she's come up with a very great topic today, which we think is very useful to people, which is
self-love and self-acceptance.
absolutely.
And I'm Ivanina. I study business administration and also I study life coaching right now. And I'm also from Schumann. I'm pretty sure no one knows where it is. So this city is really small and it's near Varna. And the reason I came up with this topic is because I think a lot of people don't know how to deal with their emotions, how to deal with the problems they have deep inside of them. They don't know. They don't even have a clue about their strengths in their life, their strengths in what they do. They don't know their weaknesses also.
And do you think that comes from, is it how they were raised, from their experience, or how do you think them not accepting themselves or them not loving themselves, how do you think that even comes to to play?
Well, I think that all the things we deal with in life, like the rough times,
Yeah.
kind of define us as a person. But at those moments, if you don't really listen to your soul, if I can say that,
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
you don't listen to what you really feel, you will not accept yourself more after those times. Because when something bad happens to you, usually people just ignore their feelings. They ignore the fear. They ignore whatever they're in doubt of, and they just pretend like everything is okay and just move on with that. But all the emotions, all the anger, or different kind of emotions.
So it's out of fear of dealing with the inner anger, the inner conflict,
Yes.
that they choose to completely ignore it and just move on, but they're not really moving on
Yes.
because they have this anchor holding them back.
Yes, that is
Essentially.
exactly
I
it.
think that's a very good point because I think this is the point that we've discussed in the past before. It kind of plays into relationships as well because you have people like, say they have a problem, say there's been a breakup. They don't deal with it straight away because they're afraid of the emotions. So they try to bury themselves in work to avoid dealing with it. And this is the point you mentioned about getting away, trying to run away from your emotions. But when you actually accept it, would you agree that it empowers you to get better?
Yeah, because if you don't accept your emotions, like when you're happy, for example, you know you're happy and you're expressing it in whatever way you want right now, and you express it to other people.
Yeah.
You show it, and then you just feel good about it.
Absolutely.
But the same will happen not only if you're feeling happy. If you feel angry or sad or something like
Express
that.
it, absolutely.
If you just come to the point where you're like, okay, what made me sad? How can I deal with this? Where can I feel it in my body? What can I actually do about it? If you do that, again, after that feeling has passed, you feel happy again.
You feel way better. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Absolutely. And this is something that we go through a lot. Because in our lives, and I'm sure it's the same thing with you, because you've been through uni as well, and you're doing loads of other things on the side, loads of other ventures. There's going to be points at every point in life where you have that down moment. You feel like nothing's going for you. But I think if you just sit back and you don't do anything about it, you go into depression. You know, I'm a failure. I can't do anything. But like you said,
That voice.
like you said, making that first step, like, okay, what can I do about it?
Yes.
It gives you self-confidence.
But it doesn't even have to start with what can I do about it. It's like, okay, I feel sad. That is like accepting the fact.
Yeah, true.
You just have to first accept that fact.
Very good.
Like if you run away, eventually it's gonna catch up to
Yes,
you.
it will.
And the more you ignore it, like if you, for example, like you said, if you break up with somebody and you just decide to, okay, I'm going to be a workaholic for the next month or so. I'm not going to think at all. I'm always going to be around people. What will happen on the first day when you actually stand alone and just
Everything
you're told
and
to,
more
Yes.
comes rushing back to the
yes.
truth. You talk about accepting the fact that maybe something isn't right or something is right, depending on the feeling and how you feel at the time. Do you think people around you can help influence how you feel, or do you think it should be more focused internally within you?
it is also it is very good to get different points, like different views on whatever like you want to achieve or on your ideas or something. But for example, if you go to the movies, let me say
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
If you go to the movies and you're like with a group of people,
Mm-hmm.
so you're with a group of people and everyone wants to watch a different kind of movie.
Absolutely.
So what happens? The decision about the movie will be influenced by all the
The other
group.
people around you.
Yeah, not by you, and you will end up watching a movie you don't like. You didn't want to watch at all, and you will feel like you have just lost 2 hours of your time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And after that, how are you going to feel good about yourself? Probably a bit, yes, because you have managed to make better friends.
Your
or
friends
something.
happy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
but
point.
at the moment you get home, you're not going to be happy with yourself, and that is like the first thing you actually need to do every day. You just have to be really happy by yourself. So now imagine that you go to the movies alone, which most people won't do. But yeah, imagine you go to the movies alone and you just pick up the best movie you want to watch,
Yep.
watch it, have the satisfaction of it, and then just embrace your alone time in a way that you accept what you just did, accept what you just watched, and feel like you have just enjoyed yourself.
But I think that's a very good point, and
Very
you brought on this point when we discussed earlier about learning to enjoy your own company.
Yeah.
Just learning to be alone. And I think, why do you think people in general don't like to go out alone? Like you said, don't like to go to the movies alone, or don't like to go even clubbing as well. No one likes to go alone. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, as human beings, we like to be appreciated. We like to we look in others people's acceptance, and also we're just our life is based on communication, and as natural beings, we tend to go into groups and not to be alone.
Absolutely.
But since we're not animals and we have a mind of our own, I think it's not even a taboo lately, because I have seen a lot of people going out eating at restaurants alone, and I have seen other people like going to the movies alone. And
Absolutely.
it's not that bad. I mean, society puts this pressure that you have to be either in a couple or in a group.
Exactly.
But this is so not true.
And I think that's a very good point, because then you have so many people who rush into relationships
Yes.
because they're not comfortable alone, and they get into bad relationships, and it's not a good thing. Do you
I completely agree with that. Basically, what you talked about, I feel, is the stem to so many different topics that we can talk about. And that's why I think it's very central to,
Human life.
Human life, yeah.
It's such a very rich topic. Yeah.
I think is one of the most important things a human can do.
So, so basically,
Yes.
let's say I'm someone, I've never liked going out by myself. What are the steps? How can I start? How would you, if I was to ask for advice, okay, I'm trying to learn to be able to enjoy my own company, did you have any kind of way that people can do that, in a sense?
Okay, so I actually did this a couple of years ago. It was a very big fear of mine. Like to just be alone, not only like just to go alone somewhere, but just live alone or something.
Live
like that.
alone, okay.
And now I live alone, and sometimes I go for walks like for 1 or 2 hours alone by myself. I even went to book reading once. Like,
How was that?
yeah, it was really nice actually. What happened was that I saw this event and I was like, okay, I have no one to take there. Should I miss it? Should I really miss something that I would really enjoy just because I have no one to take? No. So I just went despite all my fears, and literally I was shaking like this. But then I went into the club because it was at a club. And I went into the club, and there were also other people who were just alone, just as me.
Exactly.
So it's not that scary. If you ignore the fact that society has this pressure on you, you can actually do stuff like that. Just ignore the fact, first of all, that you have to do things for others. You don't. The only person you have to do things for is you. You can start by that.
And I think from there, once you learn to just go out and have fun on your own. Another thing I've noticed is that, and I'm not sure if we all share this, is that when you go out with other people, you find out that you're way more fun now, because you don't give a shit anymore. Basically, you're just doing your own thing. And when most people tend to draw towards that kind of energy when they see that you're just always you. You're just always being you. You don't really care what people think. But in a sense, I also like to ask this, that although we say don't care what people think, is that like an excuse to not accept criticism? Or do you get what I mean?
No.
You read my mind. I was gonna actually ask that question.
Absolutely.
So,
What?
the same one.
Okay. It is not like I don't care what people think.
Yeah.
It's more like I care most about what I think. Like, if you... Okay, imagine that you wake up and you're living alone.
Absolutely.
By yourself.
Every day.
Yeah, me too.
I
And at some point you just get up, make a coffee, and enjoy that coffee, and you're like, okay, I like myself today. Today, what am I gonna do? And you don't think about what other people's plans are. You just think about what you want in life. Like you focus on that. But that doesn't mean like when you make plans for yourself first, and then like other people call you, and you're like, no, I have to do this for myself right now. I can't come up with you or something.
Definitely.
That doesn't mean I don't care about you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know what you mean. Basically, so as long as you feel you're doing the right thing,
Yes.
then people's opinions shouldn't be affecting how you feel about yourself.
Yes, exactly my point.
That's it.
And I think that's a good point, because you find so many people, they're not comfortable with something about themselves. And the question I always ask people is, if you're not comfortable with it, then why not do something about it?
Yeah.
It's just like, say, putting on or losing weight or anything. I so many people, and I think this is a more common theme with, I'll say, maybe ladies in general, even some guys as well. Everyone's always like, oh no, I'm fat.
Yeah.
And the thing is, most times whenever ladies say it, you would agree.
It's full of shit.
It's full of shit. Most, they're actually not fat, but you see ladies always saying, I'm fat.
Well, the amount of times I've heard it. It's like,
it's
what?
like a constant thing.
I think that, I don't know if you have any answer to it for us, but I don't know. But generally, I think the thing is, if you feel a certain way, then do something about it rather than just complaining.
Yes.
Is that the sort of thing you would subscribe to as well?
Yes, you should definitely do it. Okay, I'm gonna give an example with my past roommate in Varna, because I used to live there also. She was like this person who never ever wanted to be alone. I mean, like from morning to down, she just wanted to be around people, and all her opinions on herself, on her ideas about life, on what she wants, were based on other people's opinions.
yeah, the circle she was in.
Yeah, it was kind of a circle, and at some point when we were living together, she was like, okay, Ivanina, what are you doing right now? And I'm like, okay, I'm reading a book and I have some alone time.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be rude, I just need some alone time. Okay, but I'm afraid of my own thoughts. And I was like, what do you mean about that?
Wow, my own thoughts.
Yeah, and we sat down and talked about it for hours, and she was like, and I have noticed it in other people, even though they don't actually like say it out loud. But the moment you get alone, there is this voice like telling you, okay, this person doesn't like you. This person told you that you don't look good. This person tells you that you didn't do great on your exam or something like that. And they become your own thoughts at some point. So that is what I mean with you shouldn't really care about what other people think, because that way you let other people's opinions become your own.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So, if you allow yourself to think too much about what other people are saying,
yes,
eventually, because you're thinking so much about what they're thinking, it's going to be your thinking as well.
yes,
Because you're not thinking in another way.
Absolutely. And
That's
there's so many.
point.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Very,
and
very
there's,
good point.
on that point, there's so many people in the world. If you're considering everyone's opinion, which one? There's a million. And you end up living a confused life, over 1 billion even. So I think,
I'm pretty sure.
So I think
I'm pretty
that's
sure
a
it's
very
over 1
good
million.
point. Just go
I
with
think a
yourself.
neighborhood in
And,
China has 1 million
Yeah.
people in it.
exactly, they go over almost 1 billion. So I think, like you said, people just need to just get out of that space of always worrying. And another thing I've noticed as well is also that you have people who even worry about people they don't know.
yeah,
They worry about what they think. Like when someone wears a clothes, like a top or something, they're always like, oh yeah, maybe people outside will look at me weird.
yeah. A lot of girls actually like when they go out, like they're always like, okay, do I look good? Are people watching me?
Yeah.
Is this
But
happening?
realistically, what's the worst that can happen when people think that way? What's the worst?
Exactly.
What-
Someone
Some
looks
guy
at
who
you,
doesn't
yeah.
know you will come up and be like, "Oh, what the hell are you wearing?" Okay.
No,
I'm never gonna see you
actually,
again.
No one
Who
cares.
cares, dude?
Exactly.
I'm never gonna see you again. Thanks for that feedback. Bye. That's it.
People are all in their heads, and usually the people who actually say something bad about other people aren't really good with themselves.
I agree.
That's why they say bad stuff.
And you know the fact that
Wow, that's such
the
a good
fact
point.
that creative people in the world nowadays are celebrated, I think that's sad. That just shows you that there are so many people. The vast majority of people aren't individual. They're the same. They're sheep. You know,
Exactly.
this X likes that. That means I like it as well. No, you don't.
Absolutely.
You
you're
just
more
think
into
you
something.
like it
you know,
because
everyone
because
likes
it's
it,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and I think this is a very good point for anyone watching as well. It's just be yourself. You were born unique. Why are you trying to blend in? If you blend in, no one notices you. And I don't know anyone who wants to live a life. Why would you want to live a life where you're just part of the crowd? You're just
where you're just like everyone else.
like a sardine or something. I don't know. You look at this, and I think that's weird because whenever we see someone who does something different, they're just so celebrated, and I think that's sad in a
It is
sense
sad, yeah.
because there's not enough people being themselves.
No.
And if there's enough people being themselves, I think the world would be such a beautiful
Thing is,
place.
I think what
Yeah.
people have to realize is when they're going to be themselves and they're going to express who they really are to people, they're going to get negative feedback and positive feedback. They have to accept that straight away.
Yes.
I think if they accept that straight away, then that's it. They've passed, I think, the most difficult hurdle.
Yes, because no one, you cannot be liked by everyone. That
No.
is not going to happen, except you're doing everything everyone wants, which
and that's doing
And
nothing.
that's not being you.
Yes.
Yeah.
right now I have changed a lot in the last year.
Mhm.
I started embracing photography. I
I've
draw
seen that
a
very
lot.
good. Yeah.
I dance a lot.
Very good.
I used to dance for 8 years,
Mhm.
hip hop, but I have never posted any videos of myself because I was like, okay, people are not gonna like it or something. And then recently I posted one, and they were really positive feedbacks.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen all the time.
Exactly.
I
Thank
lost. I lost some of my friends because they were like, "You're different." Well, yeah, that's my point. I am different, and I like to embrace it.
Mhm.
And I have no fear of what I really am right now.
Very good.
Wow, I think that's a very good point, and I think we shouldn't even close. So basically, she just said, "I am different, and I like to embrace it." I think that's kind of like a note we can end on here.
I agree.
I'm different
We can't
and I
get
like
it.
to embrace
It's not
it.
gonna get better.
Exactly, you can't get better than that. We are different. Everyone is different. You are different. I'm different. She's different. He's different. Just embrace your difference. If you're crazy, embrace your crazy. Just embrace whatever it is, and you can make a lot out of it.
Yes.
So I think on that note, we'll just say bye for now, guys.
Ciao,
Ciao,
guys.
ciao.
Bye.
Bye.